He says he's not dead.
Yes, he is.
I'm not. He is.
Listen, Gemma.
I'm claustrophobic, Darren!
So I'm still having a hard time processing that Everton game. It still really burns my dick. I'll have an Everton video out on Thursday. I definitely want to respond to people saying that people are just making up excuses for Arteta. It's not true. But in the meantime, here's the first edition of Global Gooners with Graham.
Hello and welcome to the very first edition of Global Gooners. I'm Glenn from New York.
100,000 sperm and you were the fastest.
I am literally so excited for my first guest, who I've known for 3 years now. I've met so many wonderful people on Arsenal social media, and this gentleman is right up there. He's kind, he's smart, he's funny, and even if he wasn't any of those things and he was a complete knob, he's one of the biggest Arsenal fans in the world. I'm joking, of course, and I am so happy to welcome Graham to the show.
Hello, Glenn. We finally meet, mate, after all this time. Let me just say to you that I'm a tremendous admirer of the stuff you do as well, so the feeling's mutual, I have to say. And we finally got to meet, haven't we, after all this time? We've been messaging each other. I did want to come out and see you in New York.
What happened, bitch?
No, but COVID took care of that. But maybe we'll still get it on sometime. But look, Graham from London checking in, and great to be with you. Real privilege to be your first guest.
Oh, thank you, Graham. Graham, let me just start off right away. How did you become an Arsenal Football Club supporter?
I would say through my dad. So my dad was a massive Arsenal fan, but it wasn't that straightforward for me, because 1969 was when I first started to take my first steps into liking football. I met my parents actually bought me a Shoot magazine, and Bobby Moore, the great West Ham and England World Cup winning defender, was on the front page. I absolutely loved it. I loved the photograph. I used to look at it all the time. I was only about 8 years old, but I didn't support Arsenal then, I don't think, although my dad was slowly drilling it into me.
From now on, you're Private Snowball. Do you like that name?
Yes, sir!
But so I wanted a football shirt for Christmas, Glenn, and they tried to get me an Arsenal shirt. Well, they bought me a football shirt, but they couldn't get me an Arsenal shirt. So what did they do? They bought me a bloody West Ham shirt, didn't they? Because it was claret and blue. It was like the Arsenal shirt, and it was claret and blue. Do you know what I mean? So instead of red, it was claret. Instead of white, it was blue. So that was my first football shirt, and I didn't wear it. I wouldn't wear it.
Put it up for a second.
No!
What's the matter?
So they went out and got an Arsenal shirt for me, and so my dad took me to my first game in September 1970. It was Arsenal v Man United, I think, at Highbury. We won 2-0. I remember that. Geordie Armstrong scored the first ever goal I saw for an Arsenal player. So I remember that, and I was hooked from then on. I loved Highbury. My my parents weren't very wealthy, so he couldn't take me very much. So I didn't go very much. But that's how I became an Arsenal supporter, really, through my dad.
And the thing with you is, Graham, you're like me. When it comes to this whole social media thing, this isn't a career for you. You just have fun doing it. You just have fun doing it. And you're fucking great at it, by the way. That show you do with James on AFTV, you guys are so smart. You make me want to punch the wall. Tactical Insight with James and Graham on AFTV.
I'll be honest with you, social media scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, well, we're at that age where it scares us. I'm scared just taping this thing.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I'm like you, mate. I'm sort of like, I'm old school. My son has to help me with it, really, to be honest.
No, look at the monkey.
Did it capture? Why did it didn't say? I put it on capture.
Okay, Graham, I really need to know how you got into this whole social media thing. I'm sure there's a story behind that too. My first video was not an Arsenal social media video, I can tell you that, but I don't want to talk about that one. Graham, how'd you get into it?
Oh, hey, big boy.
Did somebody call for a plumber?
Oh, you bet I did. My pipes are all clogged.
Oh, it's okay. I brought my industrial strength snake.
I'll tell you what it was. It was 2013, because Mesut Ozil had just gone for Arsenal. And we were sort of like walking up the steps towards the stadium, and this German guy came up to me and said, would you mind doing an interview of what you expect from Mesut Ozil playing for Arsenal? And I thought, yeah, okay. So he had a cameraman there, a lady. I think I was more attracted to the woman than him, to be honest. But anyway, they filmed me and they asked me a question, and I just sort of like said what I knew about Mesut Ozil, what a great footballer he was. It was a great signing for Arsenal, £42 million. It meant it was a big statement. The club were looking to go places now, and I praised Mesut Ozil. And apparently, they dubbed me into German. They said that. I read that now. I just wish I'd seen me dubbed into German.
Zwischen Tor Heiligfeld diesen Damm! 12 Minuten, aber es geht weiter!
When I was younger, I used to have long blonde hair, and they used to think I was a German. So.
Get out of here, Rick. So, Graham, with everything that you know about how Arsenal's performed so far this season, and you had to make a prediction within two places of where this club will finish at the end of the season.
I think that we're a long way short of those top three clubs, Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea. We are light years behind them. I think what we need to be this year is the best of the rest. I hope we finish in the top four. Obviously, that's what I'd like to happen. I think the likelihood is, West Ham are looking good at the moment. I think an acceptable season for Arteta minimal is 5th or 6th. I think we're improving under Arteta. I've seen green shoots of recovery, but we're a long way behind the top side. And I think we have to accept, because they've now gone down this line of turning to youth, Glenn, and it's going to be a process of those players improving.
Graham, I have to ask you, is it true you almost won 100,000, I don't know what you call it now, pounds?
You're an idiot!
It's true, mate. It's absolutely true. 20 years ago, I think 1999, 22 years ago, here in England, we have a national newspaper called The Sun, which runs a fantasy football competition, which millions of people go in for. And I led the competition for 6 months. 6 months I was leading it. It was 100 grand first prize, 50 grand second prize, 25 grand third prize. I was going to win it. I was so far ahead, I was going to win it. But in those days, you couldn't make many subs. So you literally had 3 subs at Christmas, and that was it. I had the perfect team. I had a front line back then. It was the year Man United won the treble. They had Andy Cole and Dwight York, my 2 main strikers. I had Robbie Fowler of Liverpool, my 3rd striker, who was one of England's greatest ever finishers. And he was banging in goals for me left, right and centre. And what happened was, we got to April, there was about a month left of the season, about 6 games. I had a 50-point lead. I had the 3 best strikers in there. I was going to win it. In the media that week, in the build-up to the big Merseyside derby, there was a rumour going around that Robbie Fowler actually sniffed coke. Now, Robbie Fowler had been banned for a few games earlier when he dropped his shorts at Graham-le-Saux in a Chelsea-Liverpool game. I think there was a rumour in football that Graham-le-Saux was gay, I think, at the time. And Robbie Fowler was taking the mickey out of him, and he got a ban for that. So I already lost him for a few games. He came back, he started banging the goals in, I was on the brink of winning it. The thing appeared in the Merseyside press about him sniffing coke. The Everton fans were taking the mickey out of him during the game. He scored a hat-trick. When he put the penalty in, he went down in front of their fans on the line of the 6-yard box and started sniffing the line, making out he was sniffing coke. And of course, it caused absolute riot, didn't it? Well, not riot. So the fans in the stadium, I think, it kicked them all off, basically. He got into real trouble. So ultimately, they banned him for the rest of the season, which, you know, you'll understand. Only for some poor guy who's winning the fantasy football, it's a complete kick in the teeth, isn't it? So I've lost him for the last 6 or 7 games, and that means when you're only playing with 10 players and there's 6 or 7 games left, you're in trouble. And the thing that really annoyed me about it was Robbie Fowler took the Liverpool penalties then, and when he got banned, Jamie Redknapp, who's now a pundit on Sky, he started taking the penalties for Liverpool, scoring. The two behind me both had Jamie Redknapp, so they both overtook me. But I just hung on to get 3rd place, so I got 25 grand. But Robbie Fowler, he's never going to watch this, but if I ever see him.
Now I want to get to some fun questions to end this thing. This is for the way they used to do. There was a show called Inside the Actors Studio where they asked the guest questions. So Graham, I have to read off this, okay? What is your favorite sound or noise?
I think my favourite sound actually is the sea. 2 reasons. One, it reminds me of my mum, who passed away about a year ago. She used to love the sea. But I love the sound of the sea lapping on the shore. It's so relaxing.
Okay, Graham, what's your least favorite sound?
Probably snoring.
What profession would you never want to do?
I wouldn't want to be a boxer. You imagine sort of like being smashed to pieces.
The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
And final question. I can't believe this is over already. I've had so much fun. What is your favorite swear word?
Probably cunt.
Oh, joints!
It probably pisses everybody off when you say it, doesn't it?
Not as much as in the USA. You just saying it might send the cops to my house. It's been a pleasure. I can't tell you, I'm so excited that you were my first guest. I've been such an admirer of yours since that first Same Old Arsenal that I saw you on, and I love your show with James on AFTV, Tactical Insight. Everybody, you got to check that out. It's one of the best shows anywhere. Graham, thank you so much for being on.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Glenn, and it's great to finally meet you and talk to you. Yeah. You know, we'll stay in touch, and I'm going to come over and see you one of these days, and you're going to have to introduce me to that family of yours. But keep doing what you're doing, mate, because you give me 5-10 minutes of laughter every week, I assure you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Graham, but you're not going to meet my family. You're my excuse when you come over here to get away from my family, so you're not going to meet them.
I want to have sex on the kitchen table.
I want to have a meal on the kitchen table.
Graham, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Dude, you are awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to disturb your pleasant ride, but unlike yourselves, I was born without taste buds. Let me demonstrate.